All right, we should be good to go, Danessa.
All
Welcome
right.
to our January 28th meeting. Yay.
Woo! Thank you all for being here. I know that we were talking about the pandemic wall. Has anyone else heard that term? Hitting the pandemic wall. I saw it on Twitter the other night. I think it's real because this week has been really tough for me. And as we were kind of talking about, and just, I think it's a real thing. We're done. I'm done. So I'm glad to see people. So thank you for being here. Woo!
I know. I went to the dentist. They called me because they're like, we haven't seen you in a year. And I was like, yeah, I don't go see people. So
Yeah.
I ventured out and I was like, this is the first time I've been in person, like talking to an adult. I can't remember the last time I've done this. I was like, I've never thought of the dentist as a social hour, but it really was. Yeah, so it's different. It's totally different right now. So love to hear how people are doing. You're more than welcome to put things in the chat as we're going through. And then again, we'll make some time and space for more check-in after some of the nuts and bolts of the presentation as well.
Absolutely. Because we got to remind each other we're not alone. I think that's so important right now. So welcome, GEG Nor Cal. Woo-hoo. As you guys know, we find inspiration from each of you. So we thank you so much for being here. I should close my door. So thank you. So today we're going to do our usual. We have some googly treats for you. Yeah, yes, Craig. Yes. We're going to see what's working. We're going to talk about, because a lot of us started this new semester in 2021. So what's working, what cool resources you want to share. Stephanie's totally going to share some of her favorite things, kind of continuing the 12 googly treats. I guess it's the first googly treat, right, of 2021. And then some next steps, of course. That's kind of fun. So, googly treats. Do you want me to go or you to go?
Yeah, go for it.
So, Edu and in 90 it's put out every month, and they always have the latest and greatest in all things updated in Google. I forget how long this video is, so let's see.
Welcome back to EDU in 90 and to 2021. We're back with our 8th season, so stick around as we kick things off with news on Google Meet, originality reports, and much more. Let's get started. First up, registration is now open for our upcoming online event, Learning with Google, which will be held Wednesday, February 17th and Thursday, February 18th. Join us for a look at how teaching and learning has evolved around the world, hear about product launches and updates, and learn about what's to come from Google for Education. Find all the details in the video description below. Next up, Google Meet, where we've made changes to save educators time and help simplify their workflows. Now, when a user changes their chat, screen sharing, or quick access settings within a recurring video call, these settings will continue to apply to that meeting until they decide to change them.
I don't know about you, but that makes me pretty darn happy. That was one of the #1 complaints from teachers. Why doesn't this setting save?
Previously, all settings would return to their default state whenever a meeting was restarted. In addition, educators can now control quick access for a video call directly from an event in Google Calendar. The quick access setting helps organizers control if participants must ask to join the video meeting. And by adding this to Calendar, educators are able to set this up ahead of class. Continuing on with Google Meet, we know that closed captions allow everyone to more easily follow along with video meetings. We're launching closed captions in additional languages, starting with French, German, Portuguese, and Spanish. This is available in European and Asia Pacific countries, and later this year will be coming to North America and Latin America. And let's finish things up with originality reports. We heard from you that sometimes students swap out specific characters with similar looking symbols in order to trick plagiarism detection technology. For example, by changing the letter A to similar looking Greek or Cyrillic symbols. Originality reports in Google Classroom and assignments will now alert educators when a document contains symbols from different alphabets or other writing systems. Well, that's a wrap for this episode. Don't forget to subscribe.
That's so fascinating. Now, I didn't realize kids would do that. Like, that takes more work, I would think, than just writing it yourself.
I know, right? In my mind, I was like, gosh, that's really smart. I didn't even think to do that. Okay, good.
Do you know another, if we're talking about plagiarism, because I've seen it all as an English teacher, but kids will, if I've never given, you have to have so many words in a paper, but at the end, if they don't make enough words, they'll put a bunch of text and words and whatever, and they'll highlight it white so the teacher can't see it, and they'll still make the word count.
Oh, gosh.
Smart, right? I was like, hey,
I was on the call yesterday where someone said that they were doing spelling tests on Google Meet, and one of the children who wasn't really good at spelling tests was getting full marks, and it was because he turned the captions on.
So smart. Again, very smart.
I thought that was brilliant.
You know what? Give it to them. I would give it to them every time. If a kid outsmarts me, absolutely.
Craig had a question about the February, and I believe it's February 17th and 18th, right? The what's coming out from Google. Is it for users, for new users, or more advanced? I didn't know.
Everybody.
I think it's all, yeah. But I have the email. I don't know. Are you aware of that one, Abid? That event that's coming up, the Google event.
I think it's for all users. It's for all users. You mean the Learning with Google?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're all users. They're going to make lots of announcements. So I think there's different streams as well. So yeah.
Thanks for letting me put you on the spot. I had a feeling you might know. Thanks, Abid.
All right. Whoops. I always click the wrong button. So there's also some new awesome in the Google Meets attendance. There's challenges that I get asked. Can we alphabetize by last name? Where does it go if you don't start the meeting? If so, like admin starts it. So there's some new updates on that. So for enterprise, you can, there's a video for the template if you need it, and then non-enterprise. So this was given by Eric Kurtz. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And should I click on one, or?
I think that's probably good if people want to come back to that one. But okay. It's quite helpful if you're needing that attendance data, and it isn't something that you have your system worked out at this point in the year. This is super helpful for you.
Yeah. Excellent.
Can I ask something about that?
Yeah, of course.
I'm wondering, like, I'm getting mine at like 1:45, sometimes almost at 2, and then our Aries closes at 2. So it's kind of like it's not helpful if it's not getting there on time, and I don't know who sets what time it appears.
Okay, so that we had that same issue, but what we were realizing, it comes pretty quickly, but it's after every single person has left the meet and when you close it. So if anybody has that meet still open, even if me as the person who initiated it closed it, but somebody's still on there until they close out. So before I close it, I have to ensure that every single person is gone. That's been what's happened at ours. And that's what slowed it down if you weren't getting the automatic email.
Okay, good to know.
I don't know if anybody else had any other issues with that or any other workarounds, but that was the main thing that we started to let all of our staff know.
That makes sense. I'll have to send that out too. It's not really googly, but Global Play Day is coming. I was part of, a little bit. You were there, Stephanie. California Ed Chat talked about it on Sunday, and I could slip my mind. So I was super happy to see it, especially I think kids need it even online we're distance learning, but Global Play Day, I think it's been 9 years since they started, and it's just a day of play. There's a cute little video on it. This is a news report of an entire school that did it. But basically I've put out the question today to my students. If you could play in class online, what would you play? What would you bring? I had a student today. She's like, I'd play piano and share my favorite song that I can play. And I was like, that's amazing. Someone's said that virtual cards. I was like, awesome. So they're already starting to get ideas. I have no idea why I'm asking, but I'm excited that they're thinking about it. So that's on Wednesday, I believe. Global Play Day. If you can click and register in the oh my gosh, my brain just stopped working. In the notes of the slides
Here,
are
I'll put, you got it?
Perfect.
Okay.
Our resources, and then I added my video, but there's teacher resources and there's research on why play is so important. It's when I've done it this will be my 4th year doing it, and it's one of the things that kids remember the most, even, you know, years out, because they're like, we got to play and it was fun and we communicated and we weren't on our phones and we weren't, you know, this, that, and whatever. So I highly suggest it. Just putting it out there.
Super
awesome.
cool.
And then they're off. That's awesome.
So cool. Okay, so this one, Abid was actually a huge part of this one. So shout out. But this is a series that was put on by Global GEG. But if it is helpful to you or to people at your school or your site or in your district, we wanted to let you know about it. It essentially introduces all parts of G Suite or Google Workspace, right, to in what I would call like a slower rollout. So instead of it being that we did like one session on every single tool and every single app, it was more that there was a different one for each piece. And so if you have people who want to be looking at Gmail specifically, or at Google Docs, or at Jamboard, that it has a session dedicated to it, and it's built as an introductory, a beginner's guide. So if that is useful either to you or to people at your site, what we've linked is the YouTube playlist that's there. That's the link that's in there, and all of the videos are there. And really, it does a really nice job of walking people through where by the end of it, they're like, I can do that. And you can walk through it with them. So if you need that as a resource for any of the things within Google Apps, it's got all the main stuff that's in there, and it's really well done. So kudos to Abid and the whole team on that one. Okay, yeah. Let's jam. What should we do?
Sorry. We're on it, I'm telling you. So yeah, let's jam. I'm gonna switch over. We can put the share link in. Here it is. So we were just, as we were planning tonight's meeting, that we thought we would talk about how 2021 started. I'm pretty sure that mine has not updated and will not let me do tabs anymore.
Oh,
this morning. What's that?
Mine finally fixed. I had to update Chrome and update everything else. But
I've updated it, so I'll try again tonight. So we are hoping. I don't know. I can only speak for myself, but as 2020 went bye bye, I said bye bye. Don't let the door. You know what? So let's add to the Jamboard on how your 2021 started. It could be school wise, otherwise, personal wise, family wise. And then on the second one, a favorite resource. So I put one in there. I did not open it on my computer because I did this at home. Hang on, bed. So I have this resource. It's a Jamboard. And then I had another one that we did today that I would love to share, but something that's working for you or that you love and you'd love to share the resource with everyone. So let's take some time. We can always talk to or put it on there or what have you. I always feel like we need music during our jam series. One of my kids actually made it to midnight. My 4-year-old stayed up the whole time. And as soon as the ball dropped, she's like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, my kids actually can't, like, they're night owls. I'm not. They're much, they take after their dad, but so that's his tradition, is like having them, like his dad did that, and there are certain things that after his dad passed away when the kids were little, he's like, we've got to continue doing that like my dad did, you know. So that was one of them, was like he goes all out, like it's a crazy buffet, like the table's filled, and it's like the most amount of sweets that you've ever seen in your life. And I think I sent pictures to Abbott, and he was like, what is going on? Yeah, and the year before he got like sushi platters. I mean, it's like anything that you could think of is probably on that table. And then he wakes them up like 10 minutes to midnight, and then they come out and stuff their faces and do the countdown.
That's a good time.
Yeah, it was fun. And with our youngest, that was the thing this year, is they were like, can we, will you, like, will Eliza, my youngest one, is she going to get to do that too? So she did this year. She was very proud of it. Let's see. What are people saying? This is so exciting.
Oh, someone started school. Is that in person, hybrid? Ugh. Trying to buy and sell a house. Yeah, I heard that's kind of interesting with the pandemic and everything. So, oh man, I hope it's going well. Celebrating with GEG. Whoop, whoop.
Yep. All right, I'm making some bigger so we can. So these eyes can read them. Okay. All right. Yeah, much luck on the house stuff there. Okay, let's see. Oh, started spending time with my son and his family. That's wonderful.
The lockdown, was that when the new strain came out? Yeah.
Mm.
And then sure enough, not even 3 days later, they found one here. These are good. Oh, he left the door open.
Oh, reading Atomic Habits. I've heard that. I have a stack of, like, I've been reading. Oh man, I've been on a kick. I probably should put on here like my 2021. I've started doing, people think I'm crazy, but I've been doing these, like, what I call my walk reads, and I've been posting about it almost every day. I'll go, except right now when it's pouring, but I've been outside, like, and I'll read a physical book, and I've been getting through like 2 to 3 books a week because I'm just like going on my walks and reading. So that is one that somebody mentioned to me. So I got to read that one. But I have, seriously, it's like a stack taller than me of books that are right by me.
Get it on audiobooks. Get it on Audible, because he reads it to you and it's fantastic.
Is it okay? Like I like circling things. I might need the book with it, but all right. I'll give it a try for you, Craig.
Oh, things are happening on the other page. I had to go to the other page.
All right, let's do it.
Oh my gosh. A collection for using Pear Deck. Yes. Esther Park. I just looked at her stuff today because Stephanie mentioned it, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I shared it with staff. So yes, thank you to her. These are good. Slide Carnival. Yep. I love that. Oh, so many good things.
These are great. We'll have to, yes.
Woo, a collection. I wonder if this should be a thing.
I'm feeling like, we could do is after this meeting, we can go through and we could put some of these
on a doc or something.
Yeah, we can put the links in our in the slide deck to help with people. And then if in the future, if some of these are pieces that people would want to present about ever, we would love it. That would be awesome.
Robin asks a very good question. I'm just saying.
No, I don't. Okay. I will tell you, I was walking the other day. I don't know. I didn't think it was a thing, but it apparently is a thing. Every time I say it, people think I'm totally crazy that I'm like walking. I take the same route. It's on a sidewalk that goes and then around the park. I loop. Every loop is about a mile. But I passed this guy the other day who was walking his dog, and he's like, he looks at me and he's like, wow, I don't know how you're doing both of those things. And I just was like, I don't know, you're walking and walking your dog. I'm walking and reading. Like, it made sense to me. And then I passed him again on the loop. He asked me how many pages I got through. Like, he thought it was crazy that I was reading but I read a physical book. I bring a pen and I circle.
That's amazing. That's
You
amazing.
definitely get labeled for antisocial behavior here in the UK for not looking where you're walking. We all get done for that when we walk like this.
but I could see I can see feet on the ground. So I'm the person, I move off the sidewalk into the street if I see other people. Like I've got my mask on. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Anyway.
But I get the feeling, but by the time you've seen the feet on the ground, it's too late, isn't it?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good about it. I'm good about it. I promise. I haven't run into
Video or it didn't happen. I think someone needs to. I'm just kidding.
No. Okay. All right. I promise. It's like I don't do it in the dark. It's a very easy walk around the park. There will not be a fatality while I'm reading walking.
It reminds me of that moment in Soul, if you've seen the Disney movie.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I will not go in a pothole.
We're a little worried about you, I think. We're just.
Oh my gosh. I promise.
On that note, y'all.
Okay.
We have some few of her favorite things with Miss Stephanie. Woo!
Okay, so I'll put the link in. Let me grab it. But maybe I'll change it. I'll present because I have it here.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
I can share the link so you can present.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so I'll just present my screen. Let me just get it into preview mode here. And then I'll present. All right, so I had mentioned Esther Park, and that's a few of the things. If you're not familiar, I mean, her stuff is awesome. So, but one of the things that I've tried to think about is like, how does it apply? So she posted, and hers looked different, but I can show you hers in a moment. She posted a thing online where she had 4 different rooms on hers. And my student teacher and I tried this the other day. I didn't know how it was going to go, and it went really, really well. So this was the exact slide we used in our class. We used Pear Deck, and our students are in the middle of doing research for their service learning units tied to the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs by the UN. And anyway, so while they're working, we realized, okay, we have some students that we definitely need to check in with, like some kids who were on research 5 of 10, and they haven't completed 1 or turned it in, right? There are probably like a few of those in every class. And then there were other students who were doing fine. They had already moved into their groups and talked in their teams. They'd figured stuff out, and then they were coming back in the big space, and then they had some work time. So during that work time, we used this. So in Pear Deck, we asked them to put down, they let us know. It was a survey. Would you like to be in the teacher room, an open room where people can talk out maybe articles that they found, even if you're on different topics, or if you can ask people questions, and a room where it would stay quiet and people would be on mute and working. And we really weren't sure how it was going to go and if it was going to lead to a more productive atmosphere, but it totally did. And it was super simple. And when I first saw it from Esther Park, I kind of dismissed it, like, how's that going to go? But the thing that I really loved about it, it was something that was super simple, was that the students that I needed to check in with, because we were moving them ourselves into the breakout spaces, like we use Meet, but if you were in Zoom, same idea. Even though some of those students, when we say, like, if you need help, stay, they don't self-identify to stay. So what it allowed me to do was just keep them. I moved everybody else. There were 3 or 4 students left. And then they were like, hey, wait, I haven't been moved yet. And it gave me a second to go, I know I haven't moved you on purpose. I just have to check in with you with a couple things before I move you into that open room or into that quiet space or whatever it is. And it was the most natural of check-in conversations I have ever had in my 18 years of teaching, where it was like, they didn't have to awkwardly say they needed help. I didn't have to call them out in front of kids to say to stay. They just were there and other kids were somewhere else. And it was like a moment of epiphany for me. So it was something super small, but it made a really big impact on the way that the class moved forward. So that was really helpful. Esther uses a fourth space, and I can't remember. It's like one of the things, either the mute or maybe the camera's on, but one of them is on and the other is off. I can't remember what the difference is for that one, but I'm happy to link it later if people have questions. But these were the 3 that worked for me. The next one is, if you're not familiar with the One Word 2021, if you're looking for a fun way to start class or a fun way to kind of ground students or even your staff, this has been really wonderful. And as we close up January, I mean, you could do it at any time, but really thinking about goal setting and what you're wanting out of this year, and maybe thinking about last year, and putting really your thoughts and your focus into one word. It doesn't mean that other things aren't important to you, but it kind of helps set the stage for what you'd want moving forward and what your goals are throughout the year and where you'd like to align yourself. And we had our students do it, and then they recorded a Flipgrid. So I included the instructions to the Flipgrid if that helps anyone else. It was really neat to hear the way that students described what they want their own focus to be, and their own goals and why they chose the word. And it's really helped give me a check-in point with them. So if that helps, that's a great thing that you could do. And then the last one was super fun. This was another one from Esther Park, that, oh my gosh, it was so much fun. I don't know, has anybody been doing the making your own gifts with your students yet? Oh my gosh, it was great. And you could use it for so many things. Okay, so if you haven't ever done it, this is what it ends up looking like. So this walks you through the process. It really isn't long. We've added this alternative on the side. We had some students where it wasn't a problem for the majority, but some of our students here live in the mountains and maybe internet bandwidth, it was causing issues to try to even do anything with inserting or taking a picture or an image. So they went and found a GIF somewhere on giphy.com to put onto their slide. But every student got a slide. They went through this process. They went to this URL. The URL is andthenIwaslike.co. And then they made their own GIF. And so people have used it for vocabulary. We used it for a check-in just to ask, like, how are you feeling? Or give us something that we could use as a GIF in some of our future slides. So these were just some of the ones, like, I left the students' names off. So if you wanted to use any of these as examples, this was my favorite one. One of the girls in the class, like, she literally did this jump. Is it appearing? Are you seeing it? I was like, oh my gosh, she got some air there. So we gave them 5 minutes to go make a GIF. And then they placed it there. They had this was somebody who went and found one because he couldn't do the making it, but they had so much fun with it. So it really was just either how are you feeling or what would be a great gift for us to keep using. And they loved it. We had some of the applications that I've absolutely loved for this is language teachers using it for vocabulary, or English teachers or science, or wherever you are when you have terms, and having students then create something where they physically have to show what that looks like. So I think about it a lot with English, the way that we often ask students to draw something, but instead it's creating a moving image that represents whatever that idea or word is. And oh my gosh, the students reference these all the time. So that's been really fun. That's really the end. This would be a slide that you could duplicate and use with your students, paste it onto anything. And so again, we got that from Esther Park, that idea. And then we just used it as a really fun check-in. And the students keep asking, when are we going to get to make more GIFs like that again? So that's been, that was a real joy. Like, we did it on a Friday when we said, okay, and we said it was going to take 5 minutes. And then of course it took longer, but it was worth the longer. Like, the students had a lot of fun with it. And honestly, it was the first time that every kid in the class had their camera on, because they were like so joyful after doing that. We had to have some deep conversations that day. So after that, I have to say they were much more ready to actually have those kinds of deeper conversations. And they felt more connected to the space. It was really fun. Yeah, it was a really great community builder. And I think Danessa's stuff would be a great community builder if that's what you're referring to as well. The play, I think, oh my gosh, I think that would be amazing. So
I
that's
think it'd be fun to make. I think having like thinking about global play day. Let's make gifts. I bet kids would jump in.
That would be an awesome
That's
thing.
what I was thinking. Yeah.
I love that idea. I love that.
And then
Yeah.
that can introduce how to do it. And then, yeah, I'm
it was really quite simple. It works on like any platform. It was really great because it didn't involve them having to like do a lot of saving on any sort of device. They could make it there. The only tricky part was showing them how to insert it on the slide, which link to use. So just pay attention to those directions, but it really wasn't bad. And the students got a total kick out of it. And then we had fun making a million of them too. And now the best part is I have those saved in the slides. So sometimes like when I'm giving presentations, instead of using me for stuff, we'll put in one of the students' gifts on different presentations. It's great. Or like a student, you know, if like somebody's exhausted, like going over and over on the slide, and they just love it. They love seeing their face on there. So
I love it. That's great. I'm so excited. That's what I'm doing next week. I can see it. Awesome. Yay. So let's do some next steps. And I should preface, I said I put my slides for one word. They're not mine. They're borrowed, begged, and stolen from a couple of people, but that's my updated one, my borrowed, shared, and stolen one for this year. I don't want to take anybody's credit for their awesome. Okay, so as you guys know, wait, did I skip something? Nope. Okay, so we have our GEG Nor Cal and of course Google Inspiration. We are always here to help you with certifications, level 1 or 2. Of course, trainer, innovator, and coach. When is the next innovator? That should be coming up soon.
I know, right? We sent out some messaging about it. And then also for trainer and coach, we just put a little link at the bottom if any of you are not, or if you are. So if you are not a trainer and you are interested in becoming one or having more trainers, maybe at your site or in your district, or learning more about it, the ET Open Chat, it's a space to learn more about becoming a trainer and hearing from other people who are. So it's a really lovely, there's chatting both on the Twitter side and in person. I mean, virtually in person. So you can connect with people. There's also something similar happening for the coach program as well. So both of those are wonderful. Oh yes, Abid. Darren made a really wonderful book. There's a book. Do you have the link to it handy, Abid? All right, he's grabbing that, which is really awesome. That goes along with it as well, and mentions for trainer, mentions a lot of the recommendations, and it kind of guides you through some of the processes there. It's really, really good. So good. And he made it in Book Creator. So if you haven't used that before, it also can show you that. Thanks so much, Abid. I'll add that link on the slide deck as well. And so those are all there for you. And if anybody ever wanted to do any presentations on any of these or help people through it or do things, one of the things that Danessa and I wanted to let you know is that all GEGs now have a subscription to StreamYard. So we haven't been hosting our meetings that way. It doesn't really make sense for us, like being like that. We like to have more intimate conversations. If you're not familiar with StreamYard, it lets you push out to all different platforms at the same time. So you could stream to YouTube and Facebook and Twitch and all these places. If you wanted to put on or host a larger event or host something that would be both for your school or a district or wider, that might help people in their certification or in attaining any of these, and you want any support with that, our local GEG would be happy to help you do that. And we have access to StreamYard is all I was trying to say for that one. And if you want to host big events or host anything that you think would necessitate a platform like that, let us know and we're happy to be of support for that.
Totally. And we didn't get anyone to had a personal celebration. So Stephanie and I wanted to celebrate all y'all because you've helped us push through 2020. The 12 Googly Treats was amazing. That was like one of my favorite days. And so I'm excited to see what 2021 brings. So thank you guys so much. There's your award for to start your 2021 on a positive note. If you do have something to celebrate, please let us know. The link is also there. We would love to celebrate with you and all your successes and fun. It's just fun. So thank you guys. We appreciate all y'all. If you need, Stephanie mentioned if you have ideas for our next session, or you want to present, all the links are there on that slide, on the more info slide. If you want to connect with us, if you want to help us grow, get involved. The more the merrier. We are happy. We're almost to 500 people on our group. Can I just share that? I know. I think I might have to throw a party or some kind. We're at 497.
Oh, so close.
We're 3 away from having 500, and it's how we were like at 200 when I got on board, right? So in just 6 months, we've added almost 300 members. So thank you guys.
I think that's awesome.
It's amazing, and we're going to keep trucking and sharing the love of education. Because I think someone mentioned it earlier. We're not alone in this, and I am so thankful. As tired as I am some days, this week was like I think I mentioned a struggle, but I'm so happy now because y'all are here and we aren't alone. And I think it's nice to know that our feelings are not just ours, So thank you guys.
And if you want to be more involved in how these meetings go, if you want to be a leader, like we want to open it up, we want all of these to be collaborative sessions. The whole point of a GEG is to have shared leadership and growth for all. So we would love to have you. If that's a next step in your journey, you just let us know, and we're happy to support. Because more than happy to have as many leaders as we can.
Absolutely. And get yourself on our banner. We have 300, there should be 300 or almost 500 people.
Yeah, there should be no space at that point. We probably need to push that out maybe in the Google group.
Okay, I'll do that for sure.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Awesome. And that's it, y'all. Wow, that was fast. So if you want to hang out and we can chat, or if you want to share anything.
Yeah, I'm going to stop the recording so if people want to. All right, so this will be the end of the